Hi, this is Trollsky, and today I'll show you how to make a knife using very basic tools. Okay, here are the tools that I'm going to use making this knife. So we have the angle grinder, very universal tool, and with that tool I'm going to cut the knife from the piece of steel using this disc, and then I'm going to use this disc to grind it roughly. And this disc with sandpaper is pretty useful against the wood, so we are going to use it to make a handle. And then we have files to metal, files to wood, sandpaper. I use sandpaper between gradation between 100 and 1000. We have an epoxy to glue the handle, and we have the drill to make the holes in the tank and to make the holes in the wood. So let's look at this once again. These are the tools, not many of them, so let's start. Okay, here we have a small piece of spring steel, yes, and I draw some shape of a knife. And I choose this steel because it's cheap, it's easy to obtain, you can buy it in local scrapyard, and it's pretty easy to heat treat. So let's start. I'm gonna cut the shape using the angle grinder and the cutting disc, so please take a look. Okay, we have a shape of a knife, cut it roughly. Now I'm gonna grind it precise using the grinding disc, like this. And by the way, I should mention, always wear the eye protection while using the angle grinder. It's very important. So buy goggles like this and use it always. Now using that file, we're gonna grind this curve here. Oh, something like this. It will take a while, but please be patient. Okay, so we have a final shape of the knife. It took me about 1 hour to make it like this. Now it's the worst part. I mean, now it's time to make a grind, to have a cutting edge. And for that I use thing like this. And now I'm gonna mount it this, and well, it's the hard part now. We take a file like this and make it the grid. Okay, after 2 hours of filing, the grind is ready. As you can see, this is like this. I left some material on the edge because otherwise there can be a problem with the heat treating, so always leave 1 millimeter of steel on cutting edge Now we are going to drill holes in the tank. So we have a drill. Our blank is mounted to the desk using this device. It can't move while drilling like this. Okay, so now let's drill. Here is my forging furnace. I will now heat treat the blade, putting it here, and the fuel, charcoal, very good source of heat, and you can do it yourself, this heat treating in your grill next to your house, but one thing that you need is an additional blow of air, because you need to receive a temperature about 800 Celsius. Okay, I'm putting the blank, the coal. As you can see, blade is pretty hard, so heat treating is completed. Now it's time for tempering. So like I said, now it's time for tempering. So I will put that knife in an oven and put that temperature 180 for about 1.5 hours, and the blade gain flexibility in this process. Blank is tempered, so now we are going to make a handle. I will use the walnut scales on the handle and the copper rods like this. So okay, let's drill the wood. Okay, the wood is drilled. Now we need to grind the wood like this. Before adding the epoxy on the tank, we need to clean it up from the rest of the oil. So take the sandpaper, some piece of desk, and clean it like this. We need to be sure that this surface is completely clear. So after sanding, I'm using thinner to clean this surface. You see? Now it's prepared to apply some epoxy and wood on it. So let's do that. Before making an epoxy, be sure that all parts are perfectly fit, because the epoxy stiffens very fast, so there is no time for mistake now. Okay. Now I need to squeeze this package. Okay. Squeeze it really hard. And now the epoxy needs to stiffen it, so I usually leave this knife for about 24 hours. So I'm gonna back here tomorrow and finish the handle. Okay, after 24 hours the epoxy is stiffened. Here are our knife. Now I'll take an angle grinder with the sandpaper disc, and I will create the shape of the handle. Okay, we have a shape of the handle. Now it's time to round it, and we have a tool like this. We can use a file for wood for a great control, and if you have a lot of patience, this is the best way. We're gonna grind this just like this. Or if your hands are steady, we can still use the angle grinder with the disc, with the sandpaper disc. So the choice is yours. I will use this because it's faster, and well, I have a skilled hand with that. So now I will round the scales. Okay, the knife is almost ready. As you can see, the shape of the handle is pretty nice. Now we are going to use the sandpaper to finish the handle by grinding it. Grinding. First paper 100, then 250, then 500. And after that we are going to apply some Danish oil on the handle. But now let's grind. Okay, the handle is finished. As you can see, it's smooth, nice. Now it's time to apply some Danish oil on it to protect it from the water, and also the wood will look beautiful when oiled. So let's do that. I have an oil here. Okay. Look at that. It's now like this. Now we are oiling it. Now it looks beautiful. Protected and looks really nice. remove the needles all using paper towel. And we have our knife. So as you can see, it's not that hard to make your own custom knife. If you have very basic tool, you can do it too. Look at the knife. Maybe it's not the most beautiful custom on the world, but it's ours. We create that. Well, for me, the knife making, the biggest fun in knife making is to make something out of nothing. So we took a piece of old rusty steel, 2 scales of wood, and voila, we have a knife, our custom knife. So now I am going to go outside and make few photographs for you. So thank you for watching my video. I will try to post next movies soon, and if you have any questions about knife making, about knives, ask me in the comment section on YouTube under this movie. Thank you and bye.